Time has expired. Clerk will close the poll and tabulate. By a vote of 72-34, Amendment 32 is tabled. Clerk will read.
33 has been withdrawn. Mr. Collins, Representative Collins, number 34.
Representative Collins is recognized to address Amendment 34.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Even though I've already missed my date with Chairman Allison and Jennifer Garner, I will be efficient in this amendment here. First, I want to thank Representative Simmerl for the work that you've done on this roads bill. To the ad hoc committee, thank you. I attended, even though I wasn't elected, most of the ad hoc meetings. And to Speaker, thank you for your leadership in this. Chairman White, thank you for offering the vehicle on this income tax cut vehicle that we can use and make our case, which I hope to do right here. And finally, I don't know how often this happens from the well, but to the interest groups and lobbyists, specifically for informing me on the topic, I thank you. I don't know how often this happens from the well, but to the interest groups and lobbyists, specifically for informing me on the topic, I thank you. I don't know how often this happens from the well, but to the interest groups and lobbyists, specifically for informing me on the topic, I thank you. I don't know how often this happens from the well, but to the interest groups and lobbyists, specifically for informing me on the topic, I thank you. Quite simply, my amendment, all it does is raise Chairman White's tax brackets to the point wherein it is revenue neutral to South Carolina residents. I have not heard of an amendment today that offers a true revenue neutral bill or amendment to the bill. Under the current bill, there's $428 million raised. $100 million of that is a shift of general funds and the cap. That lowers it to $328 million. One-third of that is out-of-state residents. So we're down to $218 million. I asked the Revenue Office what shift is needed to get to that 218. And I wanted to do it in a most agreeable way to both leadership, to Democrats, and to fiscal conservatives. So instead of shifting the income tax brackets by $280, this amendment would increase each bracket by $1,257. Instead of $48 saved by each taxpayer, this amendment saves $214 for each taxpayer. To my Democratic colleagues, including my decimate one shot, this approach helps most of those of low income. I know some of my Democratic colleagues are in favor of raising the minimum wage. If you are of this persuasion, this would equate to a 10-cent per hour wage increase based on a 40-hour work week. So to my blue dog conservative Democrats and to my fellow Republicans, make no mistake about it. If the public is going to view this, or the public is going to view this vote today as a tax increase, I believe when there are solutions, when there are fiscally conservative solutions, we should take them. Today would be a different day if fiscal conservatives were objecting just to object, but we're not. We've offered conservative solutions. Maybe those amendments went too far, offering a net revenue cut. This amendment does not do that.
Mr. Collins, let me get some order. Ladies and gentlemen, please give Mr. Collins your attention.
This amendment does not do that. If you vote for this amendment, I believe you can go back to your constituents and say that you were a proponent of revenue neutral. If you have a no tax pledge, which I do not, but if you have a no tax pledge, you can go back and say that you upheld that pledge. If you're on the fence knowing that your constituents don't want a tax increase but want to pass a $400 million bill, this is a solution. Otherwise, I believe this bill, as unamended, will be viewed by the public as a tax increase. The last 8 months is a long time. These 6 or 7 hours have been long and grueling. But it's been 3 decades of inaction on our roads, and the fix shouldn't be quick. I ask that if you want to help low income, if you are looking for another option, or if you're a fiscal conservative, that you support this amendment. And I'll take any questions.
Mr. Robert Brown has a question.
How you doing?
Hello, Mr. Brown.
I think I just heard my answer, but I'll ask the question anyway. Why does this bill have to be revenue neutral?
To me, it has to be revenue neutral because we have the ability to do so, and when we have the ability to do so, we should take those options. Otherwise, we're increasing to our taxpayers, to your constituents.
Okay.
Your constituents are going to that pump. They're paying more in taxes. We have an option, and I'm not completely opposed to tax increases. But when we have options available to us, I think we owe that to the taxpayers to make those tough decisions. And I completely understand Chairman White and going through both what the potential income is going to be and also what our potential expenses are going to be. But even in his discussion, he talked about at least $25 million that we are expected as of today. We also voted down a bond bill, which I hope stays out. If that bond bill stays out, we have another $100 million in the pie. So there are ways to find the $218 million. And again, just to stress, this is to save the South Carolina residents an income tax increase. The $218 million through this amendment, it doesn't touch the full $428 million. That is by out-of-state residents and with the general funds that are going to be shifted over.
Well, listen, I'll tell you, being a rural legislator, I get phone calls every day and every night, as well as text messages. You know, they want the road maintained, the cracks, the pothole, the drainage ditch clogged up back, especially in the rural community. Being revenue neutral, will I be able to get those roads maintained and ditches cleaned?
You're not going to miss $1 from this amendment. You're still going to receive the $428 million in revenue.
All right. Thank you, sir. I really hope that's the case. I got my colleagues here nudging me not to ask any more questions. Thank you.